Mission 7, filling in. Welcome to Gravesend Station. Please await the arrival of your train. So hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome back to the Doctor Games Train Mods 2, Southeastern High Speed, Class 465, next work up. So today taking charge of a service from here in Gravesend to Gillingham, before turn train around, and then bring it back here to Gillingham, so... Gravesend even, sorry. So, trains unavailable, we're taking over a new service, doing a short run, return it here, and then an hour drive to get back to, I believe it's London, Victoria. So, platform 2 at Gravesend. Gonna camp around here for a bit, pick up this map while we're at it. Also, newspapers. If we have a look at the timetable up above, so train's expected around 10:13, so actually 2 minutes or so till it arrives. Currently on time, it will be a 4-car service, I believe, formed of, yes, 4 cars, 4 coaches even, sorry, for the correct British term. And it's 5 or 6 stops between here and Gravesend. There you go, so calling at, so here at Gillingham, calling at Higham, Strood, Rochester, Chatham, and Gillingham, of course. So 5 stops. Oh, there it comes. I'm slowly make my way towards the 4-car stop marker, front of the train. For ourselves, take over the service. Approximately, well, 1 minute until it's supposed to depart. Right. Doors open. Sorry, it's a door open, not window. It's quite a warm day here in South East England right now, but I don't need extra ventilation just yet. Master key in. Reverse set into neutral. Now passage to load. Once again, we are using the rail drive controller, so we are using the fancy controls for this train. Make sure the safety systems are active. All looking good. We'll prioritise our departure in approximately, well, as soon as passengers have finished boarding there. Departure's at 10:13. Like before, be about a minute behind schedule, and then take over from there. DRA comes off. Doors close. Train to forward. And apply power to get moving. Next station is Higham. So running as normal, travelling as far as Gillingham. We do pass through Strood Station, so it's a very slow approach in and out of that one. But apart from that, it's a very, once again, a very scenic route. And train that's a very easy drive. Also, didn't mention it last time as well, we are using the rail drive controller for these trains as well. So in terms of door operation and all that, instead of going through all the side buttons and all that, so door panel left, door panel right, we are just using the rail driver to control all that. It's a very good controller, rail driver. It's not everyone's favourites, but for me personally, it's a very simplistic controller. It's a very fun job what it does. Oops, again, not paying attention to speed limit there, Drawyah. Calm yourself. Alright, so next station Higham, so far so good. Green signals throughout. Now going slight downhill, so may need to put a little bit of braking in at times. Speed limit will increase now to 70, so wait for the real 4-car train set to pass through that. Throttle up, and let's get some speed going. It's just under 4 miles higher. We're up there in about 3 minutes. Again, going slightly downhill there, so don't apply too much power as rain starts to accelerate, try to speed down. Once again, clear skies, nothing wrong with the weather, so it'll be a smooth sailing journey today. So yeah, touch wood, absolutely nothing can go wrong for us today. Apart from me not sliding the whistle there as we pass the crossing. Got some more canal to our left. This probably is a stream that has been straightened out for the railway line to fit to its rights. Got a passing ditch on the right hand side. What time is it? It's currently, well, around 10:15 now, so 10:15. Currently winter, sun's still slowly rising. For a very beautiful day here in the southeast of England. Vigilance. A little more power in, just now trying to get a bit more speed up on this coast. Back on the power now, and very shortly ourselves for braking at Higham. Speed limit also dropped down to 17, about 2 miles. So we'll be able to get up to, well, 70 now anyway, so it doesn't really change, does it? It's changed from 70 to 70. Potentially I can imagine that if there's a train on the siding or a different branch line, then the speed limit will change. But for us right now on the Chatham Main Line, still be sticking at 70 in about 2 miles. High now about 100 yards in front of us. Platforms slowly come into view now. Back onto braking. And slowly approach the station in front of us. Going back to talking about the rail driver again. The combined throttle and brake lever on this, the throttle. The combined throttle and brake handle does do it justice in how it feels. Very smooth control, very smooth. Put power back on again just to help it get to the end of the platform. It's a well put together unit. I can understand the criticism that people give it, but I don't always think all of it's just. It's a very, very well put together unit. And for a long time it has also been the solo controller on the market. You now have TS controllers doing a few things as well. So you have the ADOS plunger, master controller and door panels. But what Raildriver does is it combines it onto one unit for, in my opinion, much cheaper cost. And I'm not even being sponsored to say that. If I get an opportunity to buy a TS controller, then I may as well do it at some stage in the future. Get like a true comparison, because what TS controller is doing is more of a premium kind of feel product. So it looks like the real thing, it feels like the real thing. Raildriver, it's more of a, it's built as a compressed, condensed train controller for your desktop computer. But in terms of how it operates and what you can actually do with it, I mean, Raildriver does give all your brakes as well. So you got your auto brakes, your dependent brakes, train brakes, wipers, lights, switches, buttons, that kind of stuff. With TS controllers, it's a case of buying each independent unit separate, which eventually does put up costs. Then again, it's been like that for flight sim for years, where if you want to get yourself a true flight sim experience, you need to buy your stick, your throttle, your yoke, your rudder pedals, small things that you combine to create your home desktop setup for flight sim, panels, switches, whatever. And so, let's say, it's a fairly commendable thing, and from what I've seen so far, TS controller stuff is looking very good indeed. For me, it's the price points that's big hit and miss. As I say, if I get an opportunity to take a look at the TS controllers, I certainly will take an opportunity in the future. Maybe see if they come onto like one of those train shows in the future or something. So it's 2 miles to Strood, 2 miles to perhaps the slowest portion of the Southeastern High Speed routes. It's 15 miles per hour through the station from tunnel exit Vigilance right through to junction out to the main line. I could turn some cab lights on, but for the sake of realism, I'm not. Again, there's always the clipboard light on the left there, which I've had a few notes I could also use to operate as well. But you've got to remember that, for a train driver, you're not supposed to drive with all of the lights turned on, especially the tunnel, so especially if you're landing on the ground for example, because by having the light source behind the window, it fills the windshield with glare. Stopping the brakes on for the 50 mile per hour bit now. Fills the windshield with glare, and all you see is your own reflection in the window. And also by having a light interior, dark exterior, just increased chance of eye strain for the driver. Small things that, as a result, in reality, you're not supposed to drive the lights on. I can imagine that if the tower has proper simulated glare, so lights on, windshields all blank, people would not particularly enjoy that. Right, come back on the brakes now. For a little bit longer, and then down to 15 just as the train leaves the tunnel. There we go. So train into throttle 1. It's a relatively steep uphill gradient as well, so don't want to bleed off too much speed as you climb up to Strood. And it's right to the end of the platform, right to the stop marker in front of the signal. Junction points to the left, so we're taking the junction again on Chatham Main Line to the left. No need for any more throttle in terms of timing, still looking at about a minute behind. I'm not really losing anything. Should be alright for the drive changer that was at Gillingham earlier. Sorry, Gravesend. I'm not going to get Gravesend and Gillingham mixed up the rest of this video, I can tell you that for a fact now. Gravesend and Gillingham, both begin with G's. The train terminates at Gillingham. And then afterwards, we return back to Gravesend. So yeah, so Rochester Station next, then Chatham, and Gillingham, and then switch train around. Doors not yet closed, sorry, it's looking at the circle, it's about 3/4 full now. Prepare ourselves for departure, and let's get going. Perfect. Whoops. Small pension speed limit there. Up to 20 now, it's 30, sorry, in about 200 yards. Getting a bit premature there with my, my speed limit changes. So we'll watch the cathedral down in front of us. We'll cross over the River Medway. And there's another train as well. Now this low-speed continual motor reminds me of. I can't quite put my finger on it. It might be the 377. But as I said in the last video, the networkers were very much the backbone of lots of modern day EMUs and DMUs in the UK. As before this, well, it was rail buses and slam doors. So sprinters, pacers, they were the last gen DMUs before the networks arrived. In terms of EMUs, it was all, to be fair actually, before the extra stars, the EMUs were a bit more varied in how they were functionality wise. The slam door trains were 1950s, very early 60s even. Yeah, then there was 387s on the Thames Link for a long time. Sorry, 319, I mean, not 387s. 387s on the Chatham Main Line. The 319s, which operate on Thames Link, the train that very much will never die. They're end of life in a lot of cases, but very versatile. You had the modified train that ran in the Channel Tunnel for the very first time. The 319s also have their own kind of... They're being future-proofed, so... You have the 679, which is a bi-mode, tri-modal train, which I believe runs with electricity and... Well, it's electricity, diesel and hydrogen, I believe. You've got the 799, I believe, which is also a dedicated hydrogen train. And even back when their main use, I believe they use a freight train. I'm trying to think. I think GB Rail Freight also used one for a little while as well. The 319's got a... It's a train that's known for breaking down all the time, but at the same time, it's a train that's known for running through thick and thin. It's built to last forever, basically. And even at end of life, it's just going to get recycled into another 319, just with different engines stuck to the back of it. Right, now departing Rochester, next station, Chatham. A bit harsh on the acceleration, I must admit. Straight to throttle 4. It's quite a slow portion now to Chatham. Uphill track. Slowly balanced 30 mile per hour bits. And of course, odd platforms. Something I'll be pointing out every single video to the end of time this. Oh look, odd platforms in Rochester, who knew? So, another tunnel, Chatham, another tunnel, Gillingham, stop, turn around, and back. And there it is, Chatham Station. Actually gained a bit of time actually here. We'll be arriving Not early, but definitely not a minute late. And again, Chatham, going around at the stop board, or the stop marker even, right where the train destination board is. In this case, it's not really full of detail. This is our penultimate stop before we terminate. Doors open, let passenger board and disembark, and then get moving. Try and enjoy this position for me to depart. I can imagine the train to Rochester on the left there. Probably pass it at a very similar time. That's the door alarm just closing now. We'll close our door alarms. Well, close our doors. Door alarm sounds part of that. They depart. And we depart. And of course, tunnel forces back into the cab position. 1.3 miles. Not sure if we pull into the far platform. Well, far platform 1 I think actually is at Gillingham for the stopping bit. It's 2 tracks to the to depot trains terminate at. We'll see what the signalman has in play for us. Up to 50 miles per hour now. AWS. Sure yellow. Back on the brakes. Hold it around 40. And prepare ourselves to terminate. And again, don't forget, this is only halfway there now. We shut down this cab off to the other end and then bring it back to Gravesend where we picked it up from. So it's a proper 2-way trip, this one. A little more actually on there since we slowly drove down to 30. Ah, there you go, that's answers questions. So the signal junction point shows full track to the right. Down to 15 now, so yeah, leave it coasting for a bit longer. 4 to the right. Taking both sets of points now in front of us. So brakes 3, down to 15. Pass by a high-speed train waiting on the platform for us to depart. In about 200 yards, bring train to a halt. One thing I'll definitely keep an eye out is the training platform 2. Because based on when they depart, determines if we stop behind on the train or not during the service down. Now shut down your cab, change ends, you'll be driving return service to Gravesend, or another driver will take over, that's fine. We'll turn off the DSD, turn off the AWS. We will make sure that the headlights are in the off position. Reverser to neutral, brakes into 3. Set the DRA. Tail lights come on. And reverser off. Remove that. And change ends. There we go, tail lights are active now. And should be visible on our return journey. We'll quickly grab that map over there. Thank you very much. There's no departure time on this train, so they'll be stationary there until we do depart. Travelling as far as Rochester. So what time we depart? We depart at 10:37. So actually, you better get a move on. The departure time is now, basically. In we go. Take a seat. Master key on. DRA will turn it off. Train into neutral. Set the headlights to day running. Tail lights off. Lock the doors. And prepare for departure. Training forward. Apply power. Let's get moving. It's going to be quite tight, that. It'll be very tight. It's Chatham at 10:40. As you're going on the downhill bits, just apply a little bit of braking every so often, just to stop training from losing, well, running away from us. Let's make sure that the safety systems are active, DSD and AWS. There we go, that's better. In fact, what we can tell when the systems are active or not, if we jump into the train view, so you can see we have a white light on, and next to it a blue light. If we turn off AWS, the blue light is now activated, so that it shows to other drivers that there's no safety devices on right now. Alert is currently turned off. The white light, if we can turn up to 60, is linked to the regenerative braking. So regen braking on now, white light disappears, AWS, bring it back. When we're out of the tunnel, you'll see both lights would have now disappeared. So, again, a small little detail that does have gone correct on this train, which alert drivers to, well, in-cab systems from outside the cab. It's very good for shunting moves as well, so again, just lets drivers that. So if you're shunting that, they may not have their signals active, they may have their DSC AWS turned off. Just be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more aware as you move around these trains. We'll drop down to 50 now, so jump outside again. You can see the blue light and white light both will have turned off. There you go. And there you have it, train off to Gravesend. So I think we'll leave the regenerative braking turned on for the trip down to Gravesend again. On the outbound journey, downline we took the standard braking. Interesting to see how different they feel on regenerative. They're even much better. I believe they're not quite as strong as before now, so I've got to be very careful with the operation of that. Yeah, they're not quite as responsive to braking. As it all makes use of the, rather than going through direct braking clamping onto the wheels, it makes use of the motors directly, use power to kind of reduce the speed of the motors. Add a bit of resistance instead of applying brake blocks So we'll see how that feels, we'll give it a run. If I don't like it, we can just switch over again. They actually sound different as well. Let me double check that. Yeah, also different sounds. Interesting, okay. Very interesting. We'll quick get to the end of the platform now because we are slowly losing time now. 2 minutes. Doors unlocked. Gotta be very careful now in terms of our timing. Don't want to lose any more than we've lost already. You can see our departure time was 10:41. It's already 10:42. We just opened the doors at Chatham. So yeah, calling it Rochester, Strood, Higham and Gravesend, where the train terminates. So same stations, same stops, just a return journey, avoided earlier. Alright, close doors. Cross position 3. So it'll be interesting to see as we do approach Rochester how different. Well, I know the train feels different and sounds different on regenerative braking, but on this occasion now, I'm a bit more free-flowing, so rather than changing halfway through and comparing them, let's give it a proper go, shall we? Give train full control over how we're controlling it. Rochester Cathedral just visible distance over there. Following platforms now is coming to view as well. There you go, 600 yards, new station now visible. If you want to see what the old Rochester station used to look like, there's a really good video by Bino, who I recommend taking a look at how that all looks. Bino, he used to do a lot for, I think it was OpenBVE. He used to do quite a few trains and routes for that. Also has a few videos on YouTube. He did a video on the very last day, so on the very last trains, the old Rochester station. And, well, let's just say the new station facility-wise, much nicer. You can tell the brakes different, but I'm controlling them. I'm still judging it, kind of feeling the brakes, how they operate, how they feel. So my slow approach into these stations. Strood is next. Strood will be the interesting one, see how it kind of feels as well. It's a 50 mile per hour, really slow bit of the line. As you cross over several junctions, and so definitely have a bit of fun going through that as well. See, the dispatcher has given us clearance to go, so green slash means that the track is clear. Although no door controls from this bit. Driver still operating the doors. Doors closed. Have I timed it right? Not quite. There you go. There we go. One thing you can do in the 45 you can't do quite in the other trains, if you press both the open and close buttons within a few seconds of each other, the doors will just open and immediately close. It does overlap the alarms, but it just gives you a bit more assurance that your doors are doing what they want to do. So in my case there, I did close them a little bit too early, so that the circle was still not quite complete. Doors closed, but we didn't waste too much time opening and closing them again. Just get the last seconds ticked off. Back over Medway. And yes, welcome to Strood. I'll take the right hand tracks down to 20. Slow crawl downhill. And here we go. Nice slow crawl, just the end of the platform. So the return journey is always felt quicker than the outbound. No matter where I go, no matter how old I am, whenever I'm going somewhere, it always feels like a long trip, long way. But on the way home, it just feels quicker. Maybe because I'm more familiar with the areas and all that. But return trips always felt quicker than the outbounds. I remember one place where I've really felt that most. When I went to London Zoo back when I was like in year 5 at primary school. Outbound trip to Regent's Park, long way. Did a lot of walking that day, probably the most walking I've ever done in my life in a single day. So by the time I got back to the train, it felt knackered. And what was meant to be like a 1 hour train journey or so to where I live, felt like 20 minutes. Still barely recovered off I walk home. Right, let's get ready to close these doors now. In fact, we're doing alright. 10 seconds to go. We're doing more than alright. We've actually gained our time back. Thank you, Strood. Thank you, timing points. We'll wait these 2 seconds for train to go. Just 3. And let's go. Next station, Higham, our penultimate stop. Even the throttle feels a bit more sluggish on the regenerative braking mode. I think I prefer direct brakes over regenerative. Yeah, even the throttle just feels a bit more sluggish when you release it. The motors, they take more time to kind of get moving. Well, up to 80 very shortly. Just went through a train to pass through speed board. There we go. Up to 70, sorry, not 80. 305 more around track. Yeah, night running, a lot brighter than day running. So, high beam, short beam, high beam, short beam. And a very satisfying click on the rail drive up. Throttle off. 1.5 to high now. No kind of speed limit changes. Just keep the train at 70 for the rest of the way. So leaving throttle position 1. Just get that power moving. Keep train wheels rolling. Back. They're breaking in now. The station starts to appear out of the tunnels. Braking 3. Again, very sluggish. I don't think I'm going to use the regen brakes much more than this. I'm sure I'll give them more in the future. Kind of, again, test them out, tweak them out, bounce them out a bit. But they definitely feel different. If you own the sim, or if you own the route, own the 465, give it a go. Get a feel for the brakes. They are different. It's hard to describe, like, apart from one being more sluggish than the other. Better kind of get a feel for it yourself. Yeah, we'll leave it. It's one more stop. We'll leave regen brakes on. One more stop I think we can live. And also, this is by far the longest of the 465 scenarios, capping out at 50 minutes. Tomorrow's one will be about 30. And then the final scenario in 465 is about 20 minutes from Rogers to Gillingham, and so we'll train for the depot. So this is actually what we did in the end of the live stream on Thursday. And pretty much the same actually mission when compared to the final stop one for the 375 actually. Whoops, shoot. Winston lands on the controls there. Well done, Drawyah. You are a superstar. Right, all doors locking. Hopefully both sides will lock. There we go. Train moving. If we take ourselves up onto the road bridge there. Throttle 4. Got 5 minutes travel, 4 miles. And this time I'll try and remember the whistles, which go through the different junctions, points there for people to cross. There's one. That's position 1. I will say as well, actually, the throttle level, the horn handle of this train, it's a proper unit. That it's a proper high movement. Like, look at the size of that thing. It's not your little rubber lever there. It's a proper long stick. Oh, we get proper movement on that. To 50 miles per hour, 2 miles, 2.5 miles. Gravesend station just by 3, so we'll start braking by there anyway. just kind of balancing out between just position 1 and off. Just keep training rolling at, well, just shy of 70 miles per hour. It does accelerate a little bit as well on the regenerative braking mode. It's not quite as stable as leaving on its own. Alright, 2 miles to Gravesend, 1 mile, slow down. Braking 1. Cut the brakes. AWS. Down to 30. Just before you're at the station. There'll be AWS signals right now to the end of the line. Here it comes. Signal yellow. Next signal will be red. There's a little rattle as well. Strange bumping around. There's like an odd panel in this cab. It's not quite tight. Something. As a result, you can just hear the slight rattle of the train as it bumps along. So again, nice and slowly, 5 miles per hour. Just drop it there. Doors open. At this point, another driver. Take it all the way to Victoria. Train neutral. Brake power handle 3. DRA comes on. Wait for that to register. There we go. Reverse into the off position. Master key out. Leave the train. And hand over to the next driver. Well done. Let's see how... Whoops. Oh gosh. Walk back off the train and have a concussion, I guess. That's the end of that. Yeah, so well done. Let's see how you did. As again, we sit patiently for the end of scenario menu pop up. Yeah, I mean, compared to last time, I think speed limit wise, we're a little bit better. You can kind of see where, well, you can see the outbound journey where we stopped. As soon as we hit the regenerative braking mode, you can see our acceleration is not quite as, well, acceleration is smooth, but as we're coasting, it's definitely not as smooth. Definitely not as smooth in the second half of the scenario when compared to the first half. Apart from that, stopping seems alright. Only Rochester and Higham we kind of went a little bit over the stop boards, but apart from that, can't really fault it. Enough for a gold medal, of course. Now level 8 on the unit. So level 12 on the scenario, it's still level 68 on the profile for a gold medal. Yeah, so that was filling in. That was the second scenario of Southeastern High Speed. Sorry, second scenario of Class 45, the 7th overall scenario for Southeastern High Speed. Tomorrow we'll do temporary contracts number 8. And yeah, bring things now to an end. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you again for all the support. I shall see you again tomorrow for some more Southeastern High Speed action. Take care, have a good one, and bye-bye.